Mr. Albert Maxey. Welcome, Albert.
Well, thanks for giving me this opportunity to be here. I always walk past this place. I live close to it.
Awesome.
And I love the location, and I'm happy to be here.
That was our buddy Jack Russell out there in the truck.
Waving at all the cars driving by. Mr. Maxey's like, what's going on right now?
You see how nice this is. You know?
We're very friendly here.
A lot of people.
And Mr. Maxey, first of all, to those who don't know, like as Rab mentioned, Mr. Maxey, former Nebraska basketball player, one of the legends at Nebraska, and just a man with a wealth of knowledge and experience. And we had Mr. Maxey on one of our first guests, Rab.
Yes,
we had the drive, the show on when we first started 2 years ago. And for those who don't know, him and his family have been in Lincoln for years. School name after their family. Was a longtime law enforcement officer here at the Lincoln Police Department, and also one of the most classic pictures that I have, Mr. Maxey, because our families go back literally since my parents got here in the '60s. Mr. Maxey and the late Miss Maxey were already here. In the iconic picture with Mr. Maxey being the security guard for the late Martin Luther King Jr. was here.
Yep, that's an awesome picture.
It's just iconic.
That was in 1964, and it was a shock to me that I had the opportunity to do that, but it happened. And I've talked about it. People has talked about it since. So,
Mr. Max, let me ask you this: being a longtime Nebraskan supporter in way of Indiana, coming from Indiana,
right.
Played high school basketball with the Big O.
Yeah,
Oscar Robinson.
That's so cool.
Crispus Attucks High School.
Crispus Attucks
High
School.
Pronounced it wrong. Crispus
Probably
Attucks.
most a celebrated high school now in the country. It happened to be an all-black high school that was designed and built for us back in the early 1920s, and I was lucky enough, fortunate enough to go into that school. And probably the most celebrated part of it is that we were all-black school that won the first state championship out of Indiana.
That's awesome.
Out of Indianapolis. It's a little more to that. Indianapolis is the largest city in Indiana, and they had never had a state champion until we got it. And we got it in 1955, 56. And
a little before Nick was around.
little before
just 46
Nick.
years.
Right.
I don't think your parents were around yet, Nick.
But that did help send me to Lincoln, Nebraska in 1957. So,
Mr. Maxey, tell us the story of because I want to get into a few things. Nebraska basketball, your event that's coming up, we want to get to as well. What was your recruiting trip like here to Nebraska?
Well, it was. I tell the story and had said it before. It was pretty scary for me, from coming out of a all-black city and coming into a pretty much all-white city, and that was very scary. But and the first time taking a plane out of Indianapolis and flying for the first time, all this at 18 years old was a little nerve-wracking. Now it's scary.
Nebraska?
And if you go back to my parents and so forth, my grandmother, Aaron, you could probably, how grandparents are. They were scared of where I was going and where it was Nebraska and what all is out there. And I could hear from them as though cowboys and Indians and stuff like that. But
great place.
It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny now, but actually coming into the city was really interesting for me. And I always said I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So I think with that in my mind and always in my background, it got me through most of that.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely. You see Nebraska playing for the first time in 10 years in the tournament, basketball, both teams, but particularly right now, we're talking the men's team. That's who you played for. How good does that feel for you to see your team, your former team, your alma mater? Hoiberg, his family well, his father well, his grandfather. How special is that for you to see these young men finally back in the big dance?
To me, I think it shows progress from where we started to where we are now. It shows a future in the programs.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it from playing against people like Wilt Chamberlain, Bob Boozer, Noah Omaha, and stuff like that, to what we see today. It is a different game. It's a faster game, bigger game, stronger game than it was today. But I think we're getting there.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought this week, how could they come out to have both women and the men playing against?
Surprise!
How did you do that? But you see that those are the kind of things that's happened today. It's all about promotion. It's all about hype. These are the things that I've seen since the time I played here and what it is like today.
I love it. I love it. Questions?
Well, I got to get to the golf tournament.
Okay.
We got a golf tournament coming up. It's one of the best tournaments I've played in. So I'd just love to get the information for this year.
Okay, well, Kappa Alpha Psi Ada chapter, actually, there's a little history there that should be mentioned. Ada chapter was formed at the University of Nebraska in 1916. 1916.
Mm-hmm. Way before you were around.
Yeah.
Nick.
Yeah.
Now, you talk about my years. Can you imagine what was going on in 1916 with a few black people on the campus?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And getting their education. Back then, they weren't able to get jobs. If you were in education, engineering, whatever, history, they had to go out somewhere else in order to get a job. So you could see what was happening. But in 1911 in Bloomington, Indiana, was formed Kappa Alpha Psi at the University of Indiana. There's some history there. I can't, it takes too long to go through some of that, but that's where it was formed, and then was formed at Ada chapter in Lincoln, Nebraska. And we, in the last 6 years, have been having a golf tournament in my name. And it's been a tournament that we can give scholarships for, to take advantage of our traveling and stuff when you have to be at conference and meetings and so forth. And it's gotten bigger, and I like to have it get bigger.
Awesome.
And in May of the 18th, on the third Saturday, I guess, of the month, we will be at the Highlands Golf Tournament and golf course, and then tell a little bit more about the history of our fraternity, and thank and welcome all the people that will join us in that tournament.
How do, if people want to get involved, not only play in the tournament, but probably sponsorship or anything like that, who would they go about getting hold of?
They will get hold of me, and I'll give you a brochure. I think we have some here that will tell you the different levels of sponsors. Start with $5 and $250 and
Awesome.
$100. To get in there as an individual is about $130. As a team would be $450, I think, is around that. So we've had fun in the past.
It's always a great time.
Great time.
And Aaron's been out there, and we've had a few people that like to play with us.
Is it out at the Highlands again this year?
It's at the Highlands again.
Yep.
And it starts early. We end around 1 to 2 o'clock, and
Good
we'll
time.
have fun.
We had a good time. In fact, we came in second place 2 years ago.
Yeah, second
By a
place.
stroke.
Yeah.
A team beat us by a stroke 2 years ago. We went out and fired a low score, and they went out. They fired a low score as well. But it's always a
But
good.
we celebrated like we won.
Yeah.
I think everybody's won. There's a couple of times that the weather's been so hot that's unbearable, but we got through that. Of course, in playing golf, as you know, anything can happen.
Yeah.
It's just like basketball to me. I played regardless of what the weather was, what the condition was. It's the same word, golf. Golfers that do the same thing.
It is. It's a great time out there, folks. I would encourage you to We will get after this break. We will get the brochure. And we'll read that information, who to get in touch with, all the logistics. Again, it's at Highlands Golf Course here in Lincoln. That's May 18th. 9 a.m. shotgun start?
Yes.
9 a.m. shotgun start. And it's always a great time. And the proceeds go for a great cause for the Kappa Alpha Psi ETA chapter, to where they continue to invest in the community of Lincoln. Mr. Maxey has spearheaded this for years. Even before he was doing this golf tournament, Mr. Maxey's always been one that has given back above and beyond to the city of Lincoln and to the community. So we are fortunate to have someone like yourself, Mr. Maxey, an icon for a lot of us, man. You've really been an influence for a lot of us, so we appreciate it.
Well, thanks very much.
Absolutely. Absolutely.